This is a poem that I wrote about social anxiety. There's people around. You don't want to make a bad impression. They're talking loud. You hope they don't ask you a question. You're freaking out. Your lips freeze and your mind starts to glitch. No words come out, and now you're feeling physically sick. So you just stand there and stare at the ground, paralyzed in thought, barely making a sound. You live with anxiety and sleep with frustration. You hate rejection, but you crave validation. Good morning or afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. I'm going to start my videos with a poem. So I'll write a poem about the subject and then we'll get into the video. In this video, I won't just talk about what social anxiety is, where does it come from and things like that. I'll give you a visual victory, which is something that I've created that's helped me with my social anxiety and helped me overcome it. It's basically a PDF file that you'll print off and put on your fridge, and it's like a challenge. And inside that challenge, you'll have the rules of the game and explaining basically everything you need to know about it. All right, first things first, let's understand the doubt behind social anxiety. When you have social anxiety, it means that you doubt your ability to speak under pressure. It means that you doubt yourself to say the right thing. You doubt that you're intelligent enough to add to the conversation, or you doubt your ability to deal with rejection in conversation. Example, you say an opinion that someone disagrees with. A lot of the time, social anxiety comes from you don't believe you have the ability to stay focused, clear, and confident when someone disagrees with you. And that's rejection. Now let's understand where that self-doubt comes from. Self-doubt isn't born with us. It's installed in us by how people treat us. So if you look at social anxiety, usually there's three of them. The first one would be getting bullied at school. This is an obvious one. If you were someone that at a young age, or maybe even in high school, were picked on by kids at your school, maybe they bullied you by the way you look. Maybe they bullied you because you weren't smart enough. Maybe they bullied you because you were overweight, things like that. All these things can actually lead to social anxiety, because if people treated you like shit, then it makes sense to you to inherit the idea that you ain't shit. So now you go into every conversation fearing that you'll be bullied again. The second one is what I call parental fear reflection. It's where parents reflect their own insecurities and their fear of failure and their fear of people's opinions onto their children. And this is done by when parents keep their kids in a comfort zone. Maybe they protect them from failure, or maybe they criticize them every time they make a mistake. So you think about it. If you grew up in a household where you were yelled at every time you made a mistake, maybe you were hit across the head every time you made a mistake, then it makes sense for you to inherit the belief that every time you fail, something bad's going to happen. So now when you're in a conversation and people are talking loud, or people are starting to say things that are a bit controversial, or maybe it's creating a confrontation, you will try to avoid them at all costs. You'll get that anxiety in your body and your mind will freeze because you don't want to relive those moments of being criticized. And the third one would be rejection during childhood. Now for me, why I developed social anxiety is because in the second year of primary school, I was kept back. To be told that you aren't smart enough to be with kids and learn with kids your age, it took a toll on me mentally. And not did I only start to doubt my ability to learn, read, and write, but I also doubted my ability to speak to people, because I inherited the idea that I was stupid and I was dumb. So anytime a conversation came up where the conversation was a bit out of my ballpark, like I didn't understand what they were talking about, my brain would freeze, my lips would freeze, and then I'd kind of just sit there and say nothing and look at the ground. So there's three there. The first one, you could have been bullied. And the second one is parental fear reflection. That's where parents reflect their own insecurities onto their kids. And the third one would be rejection during childhood. Like if you're someone like me, where maybe you were kept back, or maybe your parents neglected you, things like that. That could be a reason why you now have social anxiety. Now, I want to talk about why you should want to overcome social anxiety. Because I want to tell you that in this life, you actually don't have to do anything. You don't have to be successful. You don't have to be unsuccessful. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to not have social anxiety. You're free to do whatever you want. But I'm going to tell you why you should want to overcome social anxiety. Your ability to speak and think on the go will get you in rooms that will take you to the mountain, or put you in rooms that will bury you under the mountain. Your ability to communicate, talk, and even persuade will get you better jobs, get you in better relationships. I know for a fact when I talk to my kids, The reason why my kids respond with my words and not with my fist or my hands is because I've worked on myself and I've become a very good speaker. I understand how to get my kids to do things without me physically touching them. I don't have to hit my kids to tell them what to do because my social skills, my communication skills are pretty good now. Like if you think about what are the main things in life we want? They want money, they want happiness, they want love. All these things, if you're not a good communicator, you can't really expect to have any of those things at a high level because communication is the cause of every problem, but it's also the solution to every problem. So that's why you should want to overcome social anxiety. Now, the next thing that we can look at is understanding the fear behind social anxiety. Firstly, I want to explain what fear actually is. Fear is an uncomfortable stimulation that gets released in our body when our brain thinks we're in danger. But the problem with the part of the brain that scans for danger is that it doesn't know the difference between being chased by a crocodile or failing a test. All it sees is danger and fear, and it thinks all fear equals death, which is why when you're in a situation when you have social anxiety, it can actually make you feel like you're going to die. But we know that no one has ever died from any words. We know that no one has ever died from failing a test. And we know that no one has ever died from social anxiety. But the brain can make it feel like that way. Now, there's all type of fears when it comes to the human mind. But the fear we feel with social anxiety is the fear of rejection. It's the fear of not being good enough. It's the fear of saying something stupid. It's the fear of someone telling you, I don't agree with you. That's what social anxiety is. We fear being rejected, so we avoid conversations that could potentially make us feel rejection. So now that we understand the doubt and the fear behind social anxiety, the next step for us to do now is change our perception. Now, what is perception? Perception is your automatic reaction to how you hear, see, and view reality. Your perception creates and controls your reality. Imagine your mind is a camera and your perception is that lens, and that lens controls what you see. Example, two people can see the same hive of bees. One sees pain and runs in fear. The other sees honey and stops and cheers. Two people can look at the same plate of food. One sees a way to escape emotions. The other sees fuel to power the body. Now, let's go back to the lens. If you're someone who has social anxiety, it means that your lens is dirty. What that means is that you're only going to pick up on times when people look at you awkward. When people notice you slur. I just slur my words while I'm talking about slurring my words. When people notice you slurring your words. When people notice you stuttering. When people notice that you might say something that's a bit weird and they sort of look at you like this. What I'm getting at here is a thing called the reticular activating system. But I won't get into that too much because that's another video for another day. Basically, understand this. Right now, you're only focusing on the negative things in conversation. You're never focusing on the times where you spoke well, or you spoke clear, or you spoke confidently. You're only focusing on the times where you spoke badly, where you spoke uncomfortably, or maybe you studied your words. Now let's change the perception. Now, when you're in conversation and you have social anxiety, your first reaction is going to think to yourself, what do I want to say? But what I want you to do is this. Next time you're in conversation, I want you to go out of your way to make the other person comfortable. Because that's the reason why you're uncomfortable. Because you think you're an uncomfortable speaker and they can see that. And then when they look at you, it makes them feel uncomfortable. And then that reinforces your belief that you're an uncomfortable person. So what I want you to do, instead of worrying about what you think and what you need to say, walk into a room. And if a person's making you feel uncomfortable, walk up to them and make them comfortable. And the minute you see that they're comfortable, all your anxiety will go away because your brain is being told, hey, they validate you and they accept you. And then now you can have a free conversation with them. So now that we understand self-doubt, now we understand the fear, and now we've changed our perception, now it's time to take action. In the link in the video description, I've posted a link there for you to download something I've called the LATS test. I'll put it on the screen right now. The LATS test is something that I created for myself to overcome social anxiety. It's something that's made me a better listener, a better thinker, and a better speaker. And the reason why I set it out to be a challenge is because there's so much distractions in this world today that people find it hard to stick at something because they've got their phone, they've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Netflix, and whatever's going on. They've got video games at home, they've got life problems. So a lot of time when it comes to bettering ourselves, it is a boring process. But the reason why these visual victories work is that it gives you a visual representation of your progress. This is a big reason why people struggle to lose weight or they struggle to save money, is because they can't see reward in the moment. We're so overstimulated with reward in today's time is that when it comes to working hard for something, we don't want to do it is because we're not getting rewarded in the moment. But this visual victory called the LATS test will give you that. Now, don't leave it on your phone. After you finish watching this video, print it out and put it on your fridge. And then all the rules and the guide and the understanding of what it is all on a piece of paper before you're ready to go. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to follow the LATS, which is listen, analyze, think, speak. And you're going to do that every single day, multiple times during the conversation. And every day you do it, you're going to highlight off an ear. And at the end of the 21 days, two things will happen. You will see the progress that you have made with social anxiety and speaking. But another thing, by the 21st day of you doing this, you have already installed the habit. You have already changed your identity, because that's what we are. We're creatures of habits. So download the LATS test, follow it, do it, and I guarantee you your social anxiety will melt away and you'll become a lot better speaker than what you are right now. And another thing to remember too, guys, is that greatness doesn't happen overnight, okay? Expect to fail when you do it. Expect it and accept it, okay? But understand this, is that the only people that fail are the ones that don't try and quit. Relentless repetition equals evolved excellence. If you start this test and let's just say day 3 you forget, don't worry about it. Go on to day 4 and go again. Or print another one off and start again. Just be relentless at it. Relentless repetition equals evolved excellence. Just remember that, engrave it in your brain, and apply it to everything in life, and your life will be sweet. But print off the LATS test, complete it, and let me know how you guys go. If there's anything that you don't like about it or any area that I can improve, please let me know, because that's why I'm building these things, to help people, become better versions of themselves and make the world a better place. That's it for this video, and I'll see you all next week.